One thing is, you want to be polite. So I try to give the most polite, short, vaguest answer that I can give. That's my usual first response. So when somebody asks me if I'm walking down the country road, where are you going? I say, into town, and I just keep walking. I don't stop. And now all they know is I'm going into town, which they should have figured out anyway, because there's only one road out of here, and the only place it goes is to town. So I really didn't give them information. I just responded. Now, if you say something like, I'm going to the mall, well, now that information gets passed around. Because that's what I used to say. And now, if somebody passes me on the road as I'm leaving the village, they ask me, oh, you're going to ICM Mall? I could have been going to the pier, I could have been going to Alona, I could have been going anywhere, but now the assumption is I'm going to ICM Mall because one time I told somebody that I was that day going to the mall. And now they want to know if you're going to the mall again. And if not, where are you going? So the best way is to just keep the answer short, polite, and vague. And then what I tend to do is if there's a lot of follow-up questions, then I kind of get a little sarcastic, and then, not in a super bad way, but enough to kind of let them know you're not going to get any information. Just give it up, So if they keep with the follow-up, oh, you're going to town, you're going to meet somebody? Maybe. I don't know. I hear there's people in town, so maybe I'll meet somebody. I don't know. And I just keep on going. And I know I'm just being a smart ass. But at the same time, my pretense is I don't owe anybody this information. I don't owe it to anybody to let them know where I'm going, how long I'm going to be gone, when I'm going to be back, who I'm going to meet. I don't owe anybody all that information just because I'm walking down the road. And I might not even know these people. These could be high school kids, playing basketball. There's a little makeshift basketball outdoor court out here. So, it gets a little frustrating, just because it always comes up, The other thing is security. You don't want to be giving away a bunch of information because even it doesn't matter whether you live in the city or you live like I do out here in the middle of the jungle. You don't want to answer the question when they say, oh, where are you going? Well, let's see, I'm going to go to Cebu for 4 days. You may as well say, my house is going to be empty the next 4 days. That's not the kind of information you want the whole neighborhood to be knowing about. Because, 94% of the neighborhood are law-abiding citizens. It's the 4 to 6% you got to worry about, So no, I don't feel bad about holding back information or even at times being a bit of a smartass, because I don't want people knowing, like if I'm going to Cebu for 3-4 days, and again, if there's somebody out there when I'm walking down the road into town, I almost invariably get asked, where are you going? When you coming back? I'll say, oh, I'm going to town. Just got to get some groceries. And I might be leaving for 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, or overnight. But the standard story is, I'm going to go get some groceries. I'm going to be back right away. So you just have to play it that way because, again, for your own security, you don't want everybody knowing you're not going to be home for a while. Another thing, if you're a single guy or if you're a married guy who's, who wants all the drama of screwing around out on the side with a mistress or a girlfriend or whatever, which I think is just completely an insane idea. Why bother getting married if you're going to do all that? That's a lot of drama. Anyways, whole other subject. But if you're a single guy, security. If you're a single guy and you're in town or in the jungle, doesn't matter, and you meet some girl, and there's this and that, a little bit of talk, and now she wants to go back to your place. No, no. You know, the way I see it, unless you're courting a girl and you're in a relationship with her and you've known her for 2-3 months, you've met her family, you know where to find her, you know what her name is, you know, unless you have that much, you know, initial investment and you're dealing with a girlfriend, they got no business coming to your house. If it's just some one-night hookup that you picked up at the bar, or you met in town, and or maybe you talked on a you know, a dating site and you met for dinner and she's ready to go. First night, second night, whatever, she's ready to, you know, have some overnight fun with you. There's really, to me, there's only two sane ways to do this. One is, if it's just going to be a really quick 2-hour interlude, they got tons of cheap, you know, what they call them, quickie motels. You know, every town has them here. You know, the little motels that, you know, they all want business. And if you just want the room for 2 hours, yeah, it's like 400 pesos, 200 pesos. So you're talking like anywhere from $4 to $8 for two hours to use a room. And so there's quickie motels everywhere. And even the nicer, some of the, not the super big franchises, but, you know, even some of the bigger medium, you know, scale hotels, even they have 2-hour rates. You know, it's not just the cheap, you know, nasty dives or something. It's kind of standard procedure here, you know, to rent rooms out for just 2 hours. Now, if you're going to make a whole night of it, you're going to go out drinking, you're going to bring her back to your place, and you want to have a whole night thing, well then, you know, rent out a hotel room. You can get a hotel room, a decent one, you know, for about $25, you know, US dollars. You know, I think that's something like about 1,000, maybe 1,200 pesos, somewhere around there. You can find cheaper stuff, you know, for about 700-800. I wouldn't go below 700 though. You're probably just going to get a really nasty dive at that point with really bad air conditioning. So, you know, so it's worth the $25 investment to not take them to your house. And if you're going to go out and you're going to meet somebody and you plan on having them over to, you know, for an overnight thing, don't take anything valuable with you. Don't take your backpack with your camera, your digital camera, and your passport, and, you know, your laptop and whatever. Don't do it. Because I can almost guarantee you, when you fall asleep, that stuff's going to be gone. You're going to wake up and all that stuff's going to be gone. So, because you don't know this girl. You know, she may just be on one of the online dating sites, just meeting guys, and this is her whole MO, you know. Have a little fun, wait till you fall asleep, and take off with your stuff, your wallet and everything else, you know. So if you are going to do something like that, go bare bones. Empty your wallet out, take out, you know, maybe have one piece of ID so they can identify you if something happens. You know, one piece of ID, the minimum amount of money. Don't take your credit cards, don't take your ATM cards, just whatever cash you think you're going to need. You know, basically don't take anything you don't want gone or missing or stolen. Because that's the risk you take. You know, you have to kind of question the motives of a girl who's willing to sleep with you after only knowing you for half an hour, you know, or a couple hours out drinking. You know, it's not that you're just so handsome she can't resist herself, resist you. Well, resist her urges, resist you. Anyways, you know what I mean. It's not that. You know, I always suspect an ulterior motive. I always suspect that whole axiom. Well, you know, it's that axiom. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. If this gorgeous woman is just ready to you know, give up the goods, you know, in a couple hours, there's some other ulterior motive going on here. And especially if she looks like she's barely 18 or just barely 19, then you really, really got to, like, second guess all that stuff and think, you know, this could be a setup. This could be one of those scams I talked about in one of my articles, you know, where next thing you know, you're behind closed doors and bingo. Wouldn't you just know it? Her dad was following her, and he just happens to have a copy of her birth certificate, and she just happens to be 17. And his brother-in-law, who's a cop, just happens to be with them. And now you're getting the shakedown to avoid going to prison, you know. And it was all set up from the beginning.